it's gonna end soon, and I don't think it ended. I'm sick of this. Let's break up. I was like, okay. Speaking of toxic, the next one. Man, it's so hard to pick.
I know. Once we're down here, you're like,
yeah.
They're all so bad.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the divorcee.
Okay.
Because it wasn't that long, and the reason why we broke up and like how we broke up, it was just like all like, like neither of us cared. I met him on Tinder. This is after I broke with my other boyfriend, and I was just like
rebounding.
Yeah, like I was so sad.
Aww.
Like I've never been so sad after a breakup, but we'll get to him later because he's like pretty much the worst. But yeah, so I met this guy on Tinder. He was a divorced person.
Shout out to the divorced people.
I mean, not that that's a bad thing. Like I don't care. Obviously, that's why I dated him. It's just, first of all, he told me he was divorced, and but like through documents, he was still married, and I was like, you're still dating me though. And he's like, no, it's gonna end soon, and I don't think it ended like until after we broke up. Like I never heard of that ever again. Like most times of when we were fighting, it was over his friend that was a girl, right? I wanted to meet his friends and he wanted to meet my friends, so I went out and met his friends, and there was this girl that came. She was really pretty. Like I even told her, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Whatever.
Was it me, girl? Guess that's when you met me. I'm playing. Okay, go on.
So then she was sitting right across from me, right? And I was sitting with my next to my boyfriend at that time, and the whole night she didn't even look at me. When I would ask her questions, she would look at my then boyfriend and answer, and I'm like, this is awkward. And then after I was like, I kind of felt weird about it, but I didn't want to like fight and be like, oh, what are you, jealous, whatever. Go through all that. So I held it in for a really long time. But I was asking my friends, like, is that normal? Like, whatever. And then all my friends were like, oh, maybe she likes him, whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe just bring it up to him so I can get this off my chest. So I told him about it, and he was like, oh, she's just shy. I'm like, I know shy people, they don't meet other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't meet new people if they're, like, that shy not to, like, look at me or not respond to whatever I'm saying. I'm like, that's just rude. And so our fight started from there, and then it escalated, and then we just broke up. He was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. Let's break up. I was like, okay. And, like, I literally felt nothing when we broke up. I was like, oh, I'm so glad this is done. Because we fought so much over the same thing over and over again.
I think I always took my breakups pretty hard, except for the one where I was dating the divorcee as well.
Yeah.
Literally him, I was like, deuces! I was so over him.
Yeah.
But I was like legit scared because I thought he was gonna come to my house, and even like a few months ago he reached out to me trying to holler back, and I remember distinctly during the breakup he was like, this is the last straw. If you break up with me, you'll never hear from me again. Here's for him for the next 3 to 5 years. Like, he kept on trying to contact me. He would like say shit like, oh my god, like I've been dating girls, but none of them are like you. I miss you so much. Like, I will never find something as good as you. And I was so mean to him. Like, yeah, I know he was like picking fights with like CVS PTA ladies, but like, because I would see things like that, I would give him so little respect, and like I'd be on my phone while he's talking to me about like whatever. Like, I didn't give a crap about him, right? And so I was like, you can't find another girl like me? I hope not, because like I treated you pretty poorly. Like, I wasn't disrespectful in the way of like insulting him, but you know, I would do mannerisms of like, I don't care about this relationship. Like, you know, I would like take off my makeup and go in sweats to our dates and be like, yo, what's up? Like, I don't care. Like, okay, is this over? Because I gotta go.
Nice.
You paying for this, right? Okay, pull up. Yeah. I feel like I should have done like more of a backstory of like my previous stuff, but I'll do it for this guy. So this guy is another guy that I met on, or not another guy. It's a guy. Oh, I feel like we parallel in rankings, but this is a guy that I also met on Tinder. I think Tinder. Yeah. I mean, at the time I was dating a lot, so I used all the apps, girl, like Coffee Meets Bagel, Tinder. I think there was like another one called Bumble. Whatever. If it was an app, I was on it, girl. You know what I'm saying? Regular, schmegala girl, just trying to be out here. And I've been on some weird ass dates with like some questionable people who were like catfishing me. Uh, we'll go into that maybe like another time, or maybe I'll put it in whenever today if it's appropriate. But yeah, so this guy I met on Tinder, and the reason why I matched with him was because he knew a lot of my friends already from the East Coast. And this was when I was dating someone or dating around in California. I was like, oh my god, like he's an East Coast person. Oh my gosh, we have so many people in common. And so I matched with him and I was like, oh my gosh, like how do you know this person, blah blah blah, right? And they were saying like, oh, we used to go to school together and blah blah blah. So we started talking and he used to do art, but he was an engineer. Yeah, I put him as the worst because he was pretty much like just as bad as my first boyfriend, if not worse. Just because with my first boyfriend, I dated him when I was 17, 18, and he was 18, 19. So he was like a year older than me. But this guy I dated when I was like 26. So like by then he shouldn't have been so immature. But like he legit, so like it was like a 9-month thing. We never made it official because like he clearly did not take me seriously. And at the time I was very insecure. Like I always say like the reason why he could date a girl like me is because I was insecure at that time. Oh, but like at the time I was freelancing, right? So like, you know, I was still trying to find my gigs, you know, still trying to find my place as an artist, see what I'm doing good at, see what I'm doing bad at. I was still like, actually, I think I met him when I was still in school. So there's that. And he was already working because I went back to school. Anyway, he was so the worst guy. Like he would bring me to parties and he would like talk about it. Like he's like, oh my god, I can't wait for you to meet my friends. Like we're gonna see everyone and you're gonna meet like all of the people that I used to like go to school with, blah, blah. And like for me, like that was like, oh my god, okay, so like we're at the stage where like you're gonna introduce me to your friends, okay, intertwining our lives or whatever, you know. I was feeling good about it. He would literally drop me like into the party and just leave me. Like literally he could not dart faster away from me and just abandon me in this apartment full of strangers, to the point where like people would come up to me and be like, hey, like, so who are you with? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm with this guy. And they're like, oh, like, are you guys roommates, co-workers? And I'm like, not really. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, so friends. And it's like, yeah, I guess so. I don't really know at this point, right? And I remember I would just have like a blast anyway at the parties because I was like, you know what? If you're not gonna sit next to me and be proud of me, I don't care. I'm gonna drink all of this free drink, all of this free food. I'm gonna chomp away. It's cool. And then he would get mad salty about it when I'm having a good time. Like he like wanted me to be uncomfortable, I guess. And like he was just like, oh, like I saw you like hanging out with so and so at the party, and I was like, yeah, you left me at the party, so I'ma be at the party. Like I was just like, what the hell did you expect me to do? Like cry in a corner or something? I like didn't understand him, and like, ew, he would do like such weird shit to me. Like I remember one time, this was in San Francisco, and like, with the weather it gets super cold, super hot, super fast, all in one day, right? So I remember we took off our jackets because it got warmer, right? and he proceeded to like slap me in the face with his jacket, like while we are walking to like somewhere to eat. And at first I was like, haha, like what are you doing? And then I just thought it was like this weird gesture he was doing, but he kept on doing it, and I was like, can you stop hitting me? Like, this isn't funny. And like he was just like, haha, it's just a joke. And I'm like,
what the heck?
Like, I've never had that happen to me before, you know, where it's like,
it was a TikTok challenge.
I know, right? Before TikTok was even a thing. But he would do shit like that. Like, I remember one time he was like slapping my stomach while we were walking, again in public, and I was like, can you stop hitting me? And he's like, what? It's just a joke. And I'm like, I don't know what the joke is. Like, when is it gonna be funny for me? Like, because I'm not laughing. So who is it funny for? Because you're not laughing either. So I remember so distinctly the last conversation that we had. And I was like, yeah, this is over. We can't do this no more. Like, you know, I don't feel great about myself. And you, like, really fucking put me down. Like, all the time. Again, he was like this type of person who would like critique my look, like critique like my choices in life. He's like, oh, you're not successful, you don't even have that many followers, like you're not YouTube famous. I'm like, I don't even have a YouTube. How would I be YouTube famous if I don't even have a YouTube? I'm not in that world. And he's like, well, like, you know, like these girls got it. And he's like showing me celebrities, and I'm like,
that's so crazy.
What? Like at the time, you know, like I was just like kind of insecure about my artwork and stuff. And he's like, oh, you'll never work for Blizzard. Like, you'll never work for League of Legends. And I'm like, I'll show you. I'll show you, man. Anyway, so the last talk that we had, it was like, he randomly was like, oh, like, you know, and I really don't like how your family's divorced. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, and I think that's why you're like so insecure about your stuff. And I was like, maybe I'm insecure about my stuff because you kept on a daily basis making fun of my work and saying that I can't get into companies. Maybe that's why I'm insecure. Like, I was just so fired up and fed up with him, and I was like, that's the last straw. Like, you like randomly bringing up my family being divorced is so random. That's never come up. And I like I don't know where the hell that came from. It like he wanted it to sound like he like, because of that, that's a valid reason for us to stop dating. Like, as if it was such a good reason. And I was like, all right, deuces. And I remember going home, and it was the afternoon, and I remember taking a shower and crying in the shower, and legit, that was it. I was literally just crying in the shower because I was so upset with myself because I made it last that long of me just being constantly berated for everything in my life, just micro picking every little thing in my life that's wrong. He would highlight it and be like, you're so lame, you're like this, you're like that, you're like this, every day. And I was like, and then I was great for the next forever of my life.